G'day prospectors, Tony Pilkington from Gold Talk, Leonora, and I'm getting a little bit repetitive because it's another cracking day. It is bloody good. Warming up a bit, which is nice. Anyway, so still out on this particular site. We can't get away from here, and it's the old story, when you're on gold you stick to it. And I was trying to show you a little bit of what I meant by layers. It's one of those things. It's a little bit hard unless you're actually seeing it on the ground. I don't know how much we can actually pick up by camera, but this is a great little example. I'll just sort of hook around, and we've got some white around the edges, and you can see some white over there. Not so much on that side because I haven't hit the edge of it yet, and then through here is the white as well. Now in the middle there's a couple of things going on. One is it's brown, so we've still got dirt, and if you can see here, we've still got vegetation poking its head up, so we've still got a little bit of depth. My guess is I've probably only got another one cut to go and I'll start hitting that white underneath. But because this was a deeper pocket, dare I say it, we've been picking up good gold in this little section. So even though when we're talking layers, we're only talking maybe a metre all up in this little deep area here from natural ground surface. So it's not deep, but it's deep enough, and you know, you're not going to be picking up big gold, but I'm happy picking up tiny shiny any day of the week. So anyway, because I got a little defined area and I want to recut the pad, we'll just go forward on daisy teaspoons. Oopsies. And what I'm sort of aiming to do is cut another, I don't know, 6 inches off, something like that. Depends what it'll allow me to do. Okay, let's just see how we go here. And not only is it nice chocolatey brown, but when you look at it, you can see all the white flecks of the quartz. So this is obviously river wash, and that's why there's some gold in it. And you can see all these little dig holes all over it too, where Lisa's had a fat old time digging up gold. Let's see what we're going to do here. Yeah, there's the edge of it. Right, we'll just tidy this up a little bit. Now we are taking quite a bit out, but what I'm also doing with the dirt that I'm pulling away is hooking it up on the bank, feathering it out, and Lisa's just having a quick bit just to make sure we're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Start to see that white coming up underneath. Now that white stuff there, I'd be pretty confident we've got a couple of things going on. That white there looks to me like it's saprolites, so basically clays, sedimentaries that have come in over the years. And then over this side, just there, I'd say we've got a bit of calcrete. Now, there's a definite calcrete horizon running through here. But that to me looks calcium based. And the way you tell, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but the way you work that out, it's not a bad thing to do, is go to Bunnings, buy yourself some hydrochloric acid. You get a little squeegee bottle doohickey thingy and mix yourself a 10% HCl solution. So you put a little bit of hydrochloric acid, the rest in water, so 10% HCl and 90% water. Stir that up, and if you put it onto that rock over there, or that snot over there, I'll bet London to a brick what happens is it starts fizzing and bubbling. So you've hit it with a bit of acid. It's what we just call a fizz test, and if it's calcium based, it'll start fizzing and bubbling. What does it actually mean though? My way of looking at it as a prospector is that what it can tell you is that you've got a shear zone working through here, and that can be of some relevance. I find that it's almost impossible from an alluvial point of view to be following shear zones on a bigger scale. So anyway, but that's how you work it out, and you only need to do that a few hundred times and you'll never have to do it again. So let's just pull this dirt back so Lisa can get in here. Oopsies. Can I get over there? Of course I can. Yeah, so I'll just pull off that, I'll pull this back first. Pulled quite a bit out, but anyway. We haven't hit bottom yet. I'm still seeing that quartz coming up. That's good. Yeah, I think we're running out of depth there now. But we have been picking up a little bit of gold. Oh no, we've still got rubble. That's good. It's just very soft, that's nice. And I can see some vegetation in, I can see some root systems down there, so that means we ain't there yet. So I'm taking probably a bit more than I normally would off. I'm getting probably close to a foot there. But, you know, like I said, the backup plan is that we'll just put this dirt up on the top. So at least you can have a little bip on that just to double check ourselves. Yeah, we've definitely had a change there. We've gone from the quartz rubbly layer, which was we know carries gold, to this much softer calcium-based layer underneath. Now, you don't normally get gold in this, but you got to remember we're still in the topsoil. I mean, we're only down, let's say, 1 metre. It's bugger all. And that's what you got to watch out for, is everything works in layers, and you can have your nice chocolatey rubble over there, and you can still see a bit of it over there. And then we go a little bit deeper and we go into this other looking fluff. Now we could punch through another metre and get back to an earlier shed, into an earlier flow full of the gold bearing layer again. You don't know. And that's one of the limitations of a small machine like Daisy. Daisy's only 13 tonne or something, because it's bloody hard to dig down through it. So I always want to check myself, because I don't want to be walking away from big gold. So we're actually bringing the dozer out, because there's a couple of sites here where we've got a lot of gold in the cap. So with Goosebumps, we can actually rip up the cap, get down, another metre or two, and just double check that there's nothing there. It's because guessing that there's nothing there is not the way to do it. Now we'll be going out to that side more. I'm quite sure that deep ground continues in that way. We've been getting a bit of everything here. It's we've sort of just been getting widespread scattered gold, which is great but annoying. And then we've been getting concentrated little flows, but all over the bloody shop. But at least we've been getting them, and that way we can follow them. So yeah, a bit of bloody everything. Keep pulling that in a bit. Another one over there. Oopsie daisies. The other thing I dislike about small excavators is you get thrown around a lot more. I'm not the best digger operator in the world anyway, but at least with Rosie, the big girl, she doesn't move too much, everything else moves. It's great. It's a lot more comfortable. Whereas little machines always get thrown around a lot more. Or it could just be I'm a shit operator. Lisa and I are working on our new one-day course we're putting on down in Mandurah, and it should be a lot of fun. I'm just sort of finalising things now, but it may have something to do with dry blowing. Going through some of the ins and outs of that. hopefully we'll be doing a little bit of processing and smelting of gold. That's what we're working on. It's a little bit hard with that, doing a smelt live down in Perth, just because of fire restrictions and things, fire bans over summer. So we're just trying to work through that at the moment, which may or may not happen, but either way, we've got some really cool things to teach people and different stuff. And again, it may not be that it's something that you ever do, but I think people just like being involved in what's going on as well, and that's bloody great. Oopsies. So we'll just pull this in there. So we're getting back to where that vegetation is. Might have to go that way a bit too, I think. Just get this out of the way. Which way is the wind blowing? I think we'll hook it around this way. But at this stage we'll be doing a few one-day courses down in Mandurah in February. That's the plan at this stage. I was looking at doing them before Christmas, but we're just not going to get time. We're sort of I'm a little bit further behind where I want to be with the dry blowing schedule, and that always gets the priority. Tiny, oopsie daisies. Tiny should be into full swing about mid next week. We're just in the process of moving some gear around. Oopsie daisies. It's bouncing around because my tracks aren't even at the moment, but that's alright. These things happen. Alright, so we'll just pick up a level. Oh, look at that. Nice and rich and red and vegetation, so that's good. Come back to that. Yeah, I think I'll use that as my level, which is a fraction higher than the rest, but it feels right. Just remember that whilst metal detectors can be really, really good, they can be really, really useless. I think people will be shocked if they realise how crap they are. At times. Okay, now I'll go down to that floor. That removes that. And now we're basically seeing if there's any dirt in that, any gold in that last cut. So Beautiful, rich red dirt. Grow tomatoes in that. Or the marijuana. I came across a drug crop once out here. It was a funny old day. I was going out to an old mine site. Oh, this I don't know, 15, 20 years ago or something, and I was going out there because I knew that there was an old bulldozer blade from a long time ago, and I was sort of looking for a bulldozer blade, as it were, and I thought I'd just go and check out and see if it would fit and if it's anything worthwhile. And I was in the Zook and pulled up, and I was walking around. I was looking at the dozer blade, and I don't know if anyone's had it, but you just get this really funny feeling up the back of your neck that someone's watching you. And it wasn't that someone was watching us, it was that, no, this isn't right. There was something that I was missing, and I don't miss much out in the bush. It's one of the things I love about it. I'm right on the ball with what I'm seeing out there. But I totally missed it because there was this old donger out on this mine site that had been there for years, and then right next to that was parked about a 22 or 3 foot old caravan in camouflage netting, and someone who really knew what they were doing had spent a long time camouflaging it. I mean, they had cut down branches and woven them together, and man, it was a bloody good job. I didn't pick it until I was really looking for it, and they were standing next to it, but basically. And then I started looking around more, and there was bloody pipes going into the old mine where the water was. And then there was pumps, and there was irrigation pipes and generators and a tent. It was like far out. I got back in the Zook and just sort of walked away and never went back. Oh dear. So obviously someone was growing something inside the van. But that's the only time. I've known of a few people finding stuff down around Kalgoorlie like that, but it was the first time up around here that I've seen it. And me, I don't want to know about it. So we're still getting vegetation, so I'll just take that down a fraction more there, I think. Still getting vegetation. Look at that. Come on, let's get into it and see what we got. Still going. I won't do any more than that. I don't want to be too greedy and lose gold. Just take a bit more off there. And a bit more off there. Yeah, that's really nice. Anyway, I'm probably wasting diesel by being too precious. But if there ain't gold there, I'll go bloody heat. Oops, daisies. So I'll just get rid of a bit of this shit. must say this this little Daisy Teaspoons has been a good acquisition for us. We got it at the right price. I mean, a fair price for what it was. You know, we didn't steal it, and we didn't pay too much. It was the right price, and we've spent that money again on getting it up to speed. Last thing is the air conditioning, which will be done pretty soon. I'll just, there we go. And certainly for, well, I've been sort of really surprised about how versatile, or what I've been able to do with it. What it needs is a quick hitch and a general purpose bucket, GP bucket with some teeth on it. And then I'd actually be pretty happy with it. It's, you know, it's reasonably cheap to run, it's reasonably easy and cheap to move around. But then, you know, I do miss the big girl. And when we, Rosie's out on site at the moment, on another work site, and when we go out there digging with her, I always got a big smile on my face when I'm ripping dirt out. Still not as good as a bulldozer, but, well, not as much fun as a bulldozer, but it is good. That's where I need a tilt hitch here. I don't think Lisa will let me get one of those. Yeah, you can see the white, that's the edge again. And just because it's white, you know, it's all I'm looking at is it's a different colour. So in this exact scenario, I've got this pocket of deeper ground surrounded by the white. So the white is my indicator of when I'm running out of the chocolate stuff, if that makes sense. But I'm not, I still know that there has been gold coming out of the white as well. So it's still detected, and if you can see just under the bucket there, there's a little rock with a bit of yellow tape on it, and that's just that's a gold nugget there that needs to come out. That's in the hard. Bring that over to there. Yeah, that's soft as shit, that one. Still got vegetation. And you can see when I'm stirring it up with the bucket, it's a lot darker. That's just moisture in the soil. That soon dries out. Still see all the quartz poking up. I reckon there'll be gold in that for sure. Look at that, more vegetation. It's an old tree stump, old root. Right, oh well, picked up a level there. Yeah, I'll just leave that. I think that's good enough. Lisa will be over in a minute. She'll be bipping the floor there. In some ways, that wider stuff is the base. Well, is the base of, or the top of the next layer, should we say. So if we manage to ping some gold in that, that would be more interesting, because that'll be quite deep there. They'll, you know, you go down 2 or 3 metres or something and not hit the bottom. So again, we're not talking kilos of gold, but I don't mind that. I don't mind the small bits. So I'll just pull this up and out. And I'll be wanting to follow this back this way a little bit to find out where the brown stops a bit more. I think that's it about there. Yeah, I can feel the change in the bucket. A bit harder. But I just need to be careful that, as I said, it just doesn't slip under that white stuff, or the white stuff's flowed over the top, and I've got another good gold bearing layer hidden underneath. And I actually think that's probably one of the biggest, it's not a mistake, but it's one of the biggest problems people have when they're starting out using machinery. And you know, been there, done that as well, that you buy what you can afford. So you buy small, you buy a Bobcat or a, you know, people think a little 1-ton excavator is going to do anything, and all the rest of it. And I'm not saying it's useless, because you got to start somewhere. But you do, I think, anyway, to do the job properly, at some point you need to be getting some bigger machinery. Just so that you can punch down into the dirt. I mean, something like a 20-30 ton excavator, if I was only going to have one machine, would probably do most of what I'm going to need to do from an alluvial point of view. But small machinery, you just can't do a lot. Like, we'll use something like Daisy teaspoons, which is 13 ton, Goosebumps, which is about 19 tons, and they're more the sampling tools. I mean, if there's something there, then we've always got bigger gear we can bring in to really get stuck into it. But I know what it's like when you're starting off, and you don't want to be paying 100 grand for a machine. Yep, there's my edge. It's like a little swimming pool. The last vid we put up was of the drill rig, and that's absolutely one of the reasons I love the drill rig so much, is because I can drill down anywhere I like, pretty much anywhere around here. I can go down 10 metres and I can have a look. I'm going to know if I'm picking up another layer that I've got to dig down to, which most of the time there isn't, but I'm only putting a 4-inch hole into the ground to check out the surface geology, if you like. Before I start, actually digging it. But here I can see that even though I've gone quite a bit deeper, things haven't changed a lot. I've lost a bit of the chocolatey stuff over there and gone to powder, but I've still got the chocolatey stuff and all the root systems over here. So I'm definitely going to have to do another cut here if we pick up some gold, even if not, just to find it. And it probably funnels down into a nice little area. Anyway, that'll do for now. I'll go and find Lisa. I think she's over there somewhere detecting, and we'll get her on the floor and see if we can find some gold. Take it easy, prospectors. So we're live on site with Lisa doing all the work. Is that right, love?
That's it.
And look at the gravels. This is in this really nice little pockety bit here where we're still getting the vegetation coming through. There's still depth. Would you be able to take your headphones off?
Sure.
And put it on speaker so I can hear it as well?
Good idea.
Oh, nice one. Gee, you're clever. So what did you get from the surface?
Oh, just a little
Nothing.
Wobble.
A wobble.
A little
wobble.
something, and it still is a little wobble.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah.
from there, is that about where I was? Yeah. A slight little.
Geez, you're good. I would have lost interest and gone down the pub ages ago.
So just from the surface, not much.
All right. Well, you best keep digging.
Yeah.
I'll go get a milk crate so I can sit down. This would be good for the veggie garden, this dirt.
Yep.
If we had one. Yell out if you need a hand.
No worries, mate. You just leave it to me.
All right, that's my intention.
So you can hear that little wobble.
Yeah.
Very hard to pinpoint when it's like that.
Doesn't matter, just keep digging. Yeah, something going on.
Something going on.
Something going on. Investigate that. So, do you feel like you've given up when you've got the fly net on? I mean...
No.
No?
Oh, except when the flies get in underneath,
Yeah.
and then I'm hitting them like this,
Smacking your head.
smacking my head. It's not a good look.
No.
Somehow
I
they
saw you
find
doing
their
that yesterday.
way.
Yeah, I saw you doing that yesterday
Yeah.
and thought, oh my God.
She's a crazy woman.
she's lost it. You know what they say, everyone living in Leonora is either insane or going insane.
I think we need a bigger pick.
We?
If only we had a machine that could do this.
I've done my bit, you've got to do your bit now.
It is increasing a little bit, but I just want to widen that shoulder out.
You could be here for all day, couldn't you?
Could be. You know how I like digging holes, though.
Do you want me to get the bigger pick for you?
Don't think we've got it on board.
Sure. We've got the little daisy teaspoons. There's always that.
But anyway, you stay there and I'd get it anyway.
Yeah. That's my intention. Yes, dear. Isn't it interesting how people always say, you know, work smarter, not harder? Hang on, I'm missing something. Machine that work. Oh, hello. Hello, now it's talking. Hello.
So, as I said, it's very hard to... And it is a little bit...
Yeah, a bit pingy too, a bit. Something going on down there.
One moment.
I think the reason why the detector wobbles is that all the PI machines are pretty much the same, where they've got two sides of the detectors. One's that sort of gives a high-low response, a dot-dot for small targets, and the other half of the machine which gives a low-high response, a boom-boom, boom-boom, which we call a ground noise. And often the machines get themselves confused and they don't know whether to respond with a high-low or a low-high. So they give you a bit of both, and that's where you get the warble. It gets a little bit confused, the poor thing.
Sounds like a bit like our relationship, actually.
Sorry?
Get confused and...
What? Is there something I need to know?
Don't interpret it. Don't interpret the right signals.
There's no confusion to me. I mean, you're doing all the work and I'm standing here talking whatever. Oh, good job, love. Getting into
Well,
it now.
it's still nice.
Yeah.
Gravel's under there.
Bloody oath there is. We could just find, you know, just a 1 ounce or something. We can go home for the day and relax. Oh, bugger, it's out.
It is.
It's not that big then.
Or is it?
Yeah, there's something over there. Boom. Boom, baby. Boom, baby. Boom, baby. Come on, show off.
And I think why it's doing that warble is because it's in that damp dirt. There it is.
Hey, Ness, just hang on 2 seconds, mate. Oh. Just hang on 2 seconds, mate. Ooh, hang on, we're zooming in, Hello! Look at that. That's a nice clean little one.
Well,
A little 1.5 grams or something.
what depth are we at?
Oh no, we're getting
You've
down
taken-
a metre,
Yeah.
something like that. Well done, love. Keep going.
No worries, mate.
All right. See you later, prospectors.
See you, prospectors.
I'll talk to my sister Ness.